For those who have just joined and are still joining, we're just waiting for a few more people to join the call. And within like 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to start the call.
Hi, everybody.
Hola. Hey, girl.
How is everyone?
I'm good. How are you, love?
Good.
Great. Feeling
Hey, what's up, y'all?
All right.
Jor,
Go ahead. I see it.
mute everybody mic.
Unmute yours.
All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to say thank you all for joining this call. As you know, today's call is going to be about social injustice and enlightenment. I'm very pleased. My team and I are very pleased with today's turnout. We thought we would use our platform to hear your voices, hear your opinions, and come up with a productive means to reform. So I'm really grateful that everyone was able to join this call. Thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for reposting. And yeah, today's meeting is going to be very productive. We're going to be, really sharing our ideas and using our energy productively. So the first thing we're going to do is start this call with prayer, because we understand that, hey, yes, ma'am. We understand that a lot of you are angry, you have a heavy heart, and we want to channel our energy in a productive way. So Jair is going to be leading the call with prayer.
All right, how you guys doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and all minds clear. Let's go ahead and bow our heads, please. Lord, I pray that you give us the knowledge and the willpower to defeat the evils of today and tomorrow. God, I pray that you show us the right way and that you guide us down the right path, Lord, I pray. Protect everyone in this Zoom and their families. And in Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. So with that being said, before we start the conversation, Jada is just going to give a little love and light before we go into today's conversation.
Hey everybody, I hope y'all are feeling nice, feeling great today. I just wanted to say that, while we are trying to be very much informed and involved in our community, I want y'all to also understand that taking care of your well-being during this time is as much as important as being involved is. So if you need to, take a break off Instagram, take a break off just social media, then that's okay, because I know I have had to as well, because it's a lot. It's kind of like information overload sometimes. So, give yourself that well-needed break so you don't have to be so drained and feel obligated to do something. Like I said, this is a choice, and a choice for us to, better the world that we're going to be living in. So, yeah, just make sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just give a little background information, and then I'm going to go over the itinerary for the call before I hand it over to Jordan. So as you all know, right now we are participating in a race war, okay? The country is at war, and we're really fighting for justice for specifically Black people, okay? Because we've been dealing with years and years and years and years of injustice, and now we are at our turning point. We are at our breaking point. We are no longer having it. So this call is to instead of focusing on anger, we're using this call to really just be productive and come up with ideas to redirect this energy. So the first thing we're going to do is go over rules for the call. Then we're going to discuss several different people's opinions, because social media has played a big part in forming several people's opinions. So we're going to dissect several different perspectives. Then from there, we're going to go into how you can get involved, resources to help. And then from there, we are going to collectively coming up with a means of reform. So Jordan is going to go over the rules for the call.
Wonderful. Okay, so like she said, this is a time to discuss. We want to have a conversation. In order to make real change, it has to start with a conversation. That's how we approach the situation, with organization and structure. So rules for the call, we want you to say your piece, speak your piece, acknowledge how you feel, but don't discredit someone or how they feel or are choosing to deal with this. The point of this call is not to argue, but to have an honest and genuine conversation. During this time, I like to say this is a safe place. So for everyone to speak, everyone to voice their opinions, ask questions. We're all in this together, y'all. We want the same thing, no matter what different angle we're coming from. We have a real opposition here, and so the opposition is not each other, period. So with that being said, I want y'all to let go of the egos tonight. If you came in with one perspective, the goal of this call is to open your mind and open your perspectives to other people's perspective, if that makes sense. So be open tonight. Don't be closed off. If you have something to say, please say it. We're not here to judge at all. You know what I'm saying? This is for us. If somebody is misled or we feel as if they're misled, then we can approach that situation comfortably and comfort them and just provide our own perspective and our evidence behind why we feel how we feel. And then we as a collective can talk about it. We are talking today. We're having a conversation. That's it. That's all. So with that being said, we're going to get this call on the road. Yeah. All right. So, Camille, take us away.
So can you screen share the tweets?
Yeah.
So the first thing that we're going to do is dissect tweets. So what the team and I did was collect a series of tweets that just, people's opinions about the rioting, the looting, all kinds of different perspectives. And then we're going to give the floor to you all to basically talk about how you feel about these certain things. So it's really, we're about to open up to conversation as soon as she screen shares.
All right, here's the first tweet. Let me know when y'all can see it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Can y'all see it?
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Okay, so this tweet was very controversial. I screenshotted this tweet because I've seen a lot of people reposting it. So we're just going to basically see how you all feel about it. Okay, so it reads, all racism is bad, but they make it seem like it's getting worse when that's not the truth. When you don't look at the news and look at actual studies and statistics, you see that actually far more white people are shot by police officers. And even Harvard has found that Black man is actually more likely to be hit by lightning than shot by an officer. And I'll bet you didn't hear about the verdict on Ahmaud Arbery. It actually had nothing to do with racism and was blown completely out of proportion. Our society is really doing more to harm the Black community by fear-mongering. That was. I'm just now reading the part about being struck by lightning. What the world? What the world?
What?
Okay, so how do you all feel about that? There's a raise hands feature. We don't want everyone to speak at the same time. So if you can raise your hand, use the raise hand feature, and then Jordan will address it. But we want to hear you all's opinion on this specific post.
Okay, real quick, hold on. I don't know how to use Zoom, so somebody please help me, because Like, where's the raise hand feature?
Yeah, where's that at?
Because I don't know what.
I don't know what
Where's
you
that
talking
at?
about.
I don't know.
Okay.
Are y'all?
You gotta click more, and then it says raise hand.
Yeah, so there's
I see some people raising their hand over here.
If you on like a laptop or desktop, you gonna press the participants button, and then you see it'll say invite me. Invite mute me or raise hand.
Okay,
That's like
I'll go one at
if
a
you on
time.
like a laptop.
I'm gonna go one at a time, and I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Did somebody? Oh crap!
That's a big.
Did you get it? Okay, there you go.
Okay, so basically, I don't really know what that tweet was trying to say. If you really look at it, there are more white people in America, so there should be more white people shot by police officers, just in general, like the whole, like that doesn't make any sense. And I definitely think Black people are more like unjustly shot by officers. So that whole argument makes no sense because there's more white people in America. So of course, more white people are going to get harmed in America, just statistically.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree as well. And I feel like this is an example of someone who is misled because her argument was there are more people shot by the police, but we're defending that there are Black people being shot unjustly, like you suggested. So I feel like this is just an example of someone that needs to be educated before they, form these kinds of opinions because they're kind of missing the point in a sense.
And I also think, why do you feel like now is a good time to talk about that? If that's the case and you felt like that, you should have spoken about that before all these riots and before Black people are outraged about what's going on. But hold on, next person.
Okay, so I know her personally, so I'm gonna try not, because I don't know if she's watching, whatever. I really don't care, but I am going to try not to offend her, because like y'all said, this is a peaceful type of thing. Yeah. I agree. I feel like at the end of the day, it's not just about the fact that more white people are shot by the police. This is about unjustful, unlawful killings of innocent Black people. It's pretty much in a nutshell. She said all lives matter. That's basically what she said in a nutshell. And I don't agree, because all lives cannot matter until Black lives do. The problem is, white people are not necessarily oppressed, are they? I mean, literally, the economy says that, the society says that, this country literally has been built to say that. So it's like, you taking the attention off of Black Lives Matter hashtag is selfish is an understatement. It's about, at the end of the day, if you're against the whole thing, I get it, but you don't say stuff like that in a time of sensitivity for people who are really hurting. At the end of the day, it's like you don't say stuff like that, because it's just like, why are you talking about statistics that pertain to statistics are literally, they pertain to a specific thing. That's what statistics are. If y'all take that class in math, if y'all take that class in high school or college, they are tailored to one specific thing. They are specific. And you're talking about people getting struck by lightning rather than Black people, the specific, getting killed by a white person that or a white cop. We're not talking about the rain and the electricity, bro. We're not talking about that. We're talking about unjustful, unlawful killings of Black people. That's what we're talking about. Like, that tweet. I mean, that's how I feel about that. That's how I feel about it.
I definitely agree. Hold on, let me get to the next person. Did you get it? There you go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ye. I go to school with and I'm a psychology major, and I'm pre-law, and I'm currently in school to kind of help reverse the injustice, focus on mass incarceration and help and prosecute the police to the fullest extent. In my point of view on the tweet, the post honestly was just, I feel like, to respect everybody's opinions, I feel like people should just, it's one of those things you got to know your place. If you're Black, there's a certain voice you can have, and if you're not, and if you disagree, like she said, there's a time and there's a time not to. And about the statistics and everything, I personally don't know how accurate that is. Just today when I made my Instagram post, I went over more statistics, and I don't think that that's accurate. So that's just what I want to say about that. And I don't know who was talking at first, but who was just talking about a lot of people being misled and a lot of information that's being put out. And I feel like that is just a police matter, you know? But it's like, no, Black people have been oppressed since the first Black person was taken off the shores of Africa. And it's like people think because of slavery and that, you know, there's been some type of progression, and really it's all just became systematic, whether it's with the justice system, with the police, whether it's with the way that they are locking Black men up and Black women up at alarming rates. It's just all different ways. And I just feel like there's just certain people that can speak on it and there's certain people that can't. And to respect everybody's opinion, that's just how I feel about the tweet and just honestly the whole social media platform, because there's African American people, Black people, people of non-Black sharing many different opinions. And I feel like it's just stemming from a lot of ignorance, and we got to bring awareness and inform people so that we can have I would say the more positive point of views that will help us get the outcome that we're all looking for.
Right. And that's definitely.
I actually want to go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say that's just one of the points of this call. Keep going though.
I want to add on to her point that she just made. Once again, this call is to educate, not argue. So in no way are we coming at her. She is just a prime example of someone who is misled. But since we want to talk about statistics, mappingpoliceviolence.org says Black people are 3 times more likely to be killed by police than white people. She sat here and said white people are more likely to be shot by the police. Statistics go on to say Black people are 1.3 times more likely to be unarmed compared to white people. So that just goes to show, that adds to our point that we're being killed unjustly. So this is just a prime example of someone that is spreading false information. And that's why you have to really research and, know your facts before you speak.
Yep. All right, we're going to take one more about this one. I'm going to go by the hands that's raised, and then we're going to move on.
Okay, so thank you for unmuting me. Actually, this screenshot is from my conversation with her. So she was talking to me.
Wow.
When she said this.
Wow.
And it's really had me shaking because, well, first of all, I slid up on her post because it just didn't seem right. And then we started going back and forth and having this argument about what was being said. And basically what she was saying was that the media was having us thinking that Black people weren't getting shot and killed. It was like she was saying that the media was misleading us. And if you really look at research and statistics, that this is the real facts. But my argument back to her was, first of all, I found it very offensive that she would say that because she was white, and I feel like it just wasn't her place, not coming at her, but it just wasn't her place to even speak on what we go through as a people. Like, you don't even know what we endure or any of that. And then my second point was, first of all, as somebody already said, there's more white people in the world than there is Black people. So for you to even, and when you really look at statistics saying that someone who has took the actual class, you have to look at what's your sample size, who is your group. And if you really look at that, it's not white people. Like, I just feel like she was trying to, I don't know, she was trying to use some type of logic, but it wasn't really working. And I mean, we had a whole argument about it, and it was just really disturbing to me. So I just really wanted to say that, but yeah.
Yeah, so. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad you said that, because I think a lot of us have Caucasian friends, and I think the first step into attacking racism or white supremacy, white privilege, is to first acknowledge that you are privileged, to first acknowledge that you are racist, to first acknowledge that you have a white supremacist mindset. And a lot of people don't know. Y'all have to understand, these people grew up on these values. And so a lot of people don't know that, they're privileged. A lot of people don't know that they're racist. So we need to first start having these uncomfortable conversations with these people to try to even start, the fight against racism. Because these are values. They do not value our life. They do not value what we value. We grew up in two different circumstances on two different sides of the spectrum. So they're not gonna understand if they haven't experienced what we've experienced, if they don't feel what we feel. And it's not our job to make them, but they can respect us. At the end of the day, they can respect us. And so it's gonna start with them uncomfortable conversations. I don't really know too many that I'm like actually cool with, but I know y'all do. And so I really think it will be in our best interest to have these conversations. But moving on to the next tweet. Can y'all see that? Camille, you want to read it for me?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. So in the state of, I want to say Indiana. What state?
Indiana.
Indiana. Sorry. In the state of Indiana, you can legally use force against police to protect a person on a third party if you believe the piece is using unlawful force to prevent officers from unlawfully entering your home and to prevent trespassing on your property. This is only legal in Indiana. So the reason that I wanted to bring this screenshot to everyone's attention is because I feel like this is an example of a reform, of something that is going to help us and benefit us. But as you can see, he literally says it's legal in one state, so this was just to start conversation about what can we do to be trying to pass some kind of laws or something of that nature within our own community so we can have protection like this.
Right. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. This is an
we can talk more about this in the reform part though.
Yeah, okay. All right, so the next one.
Okay, Black people, I really need for y'all to realize that we've tried rioting, looting many times and nothing has changed. Look at the pattern. It's time for a new approach. It's time to stop thinking with emotion and actually strategize. Ooh, this is a good one.
Hold on, let me get somebody.
This is a really good one.
And I think.
How y'all doing? I'm Jordan Sims. I attend Westlake High School. And basically, okay, so I'm more of a person that's pro Malcolm X than I am Martin Luther King. And in my mind is I'm a Christian. I'm a man of faith, but it's so hard to be a Christian right now. And I think that we've tried to be peaceful. We've tried everything, under the peaceful terms or anything like that. And it's like when you push somebody so far to a point where they can't be themselves or they can't feel safe in their own like environments and stuff like that, that's when stuff like rioting and looting are like actions of like anger and actions of like the stuff that we've been through. Like we've been going through the same thing over and over and over and over. And then people get mad at us for rioting and looting and all that stuff when they destroyed Black Wall Street in 1921. And the fact that she said that it doesn't work is, for example, when Rosa Parks was arrested, we protested for 381 days. 381 days straight, no change. When Martin Luther King died, 6 days of rioting and looting. On the 6th day, the Civil Rights Law Act was passed. And that's facts. Look it up. I promise you. So I believe in it. Am I saying endorse it and I'm saying go and do it? No. But am I saying it doesn't work? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna get Tasia, then Ken. And then Daya.
Hi, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see me. Can y'all see me?
I can't see, but I can't hear you either.
It's fine. I just feel like being quiet, and I'm not saying that protesting doesn't do anything, because it does, but like protesting obviously isn't, I feel like it's not getting us anywhere. And if I'm just gonna say, if we hurt the white people's pockets, they're gonna want to change. Like I just feel like that's just how I feel. Like if you keep doing something to somebody like continuously, they're gonna stop, or they're gonna go to a higher power and be like, hey, y'all need to listen to them, listen to their voice and stuff like that. Cause I don't know, like I really don't know like how this is gonna work or how they're gonna listen to us, but I feel like looting, well, not the stealing part, like, but messing up like people's pockets, that's just like, if we keep doing it more and more, stuff is gonna change. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey y'all. My name is Kennedy, and for y'all that don't know me, I go to the University of Texas, and basically how I feel about this post is I understand both perspectives, rioting and looting. So everybody's reaction to injustice is different, and I think that us acknowledging the fact that our voice would be heard better if we get on one accord and build a structure and have like an organized way of combating the injustices of the system. So rioting and looting is probably like one of the first stages of like a cry out for help. Then after that, our next step has to require some structure, and chaos isn't going to get the minds of white people to understand where we're coming from. If we get them to understand the value of our dollar and then work up to get into places of power, and that's just going to take time. We're all trying to be successful, and I think that one of the best ways to change the system is to become the system, or to become a way to show that Black excellence is equally or better than what they consider white privilege. So I think that changing the way that white people view us will be I guess because this is how I psychologically think about white people. They're kind of opportunists in a way, and I've learned that more since I've gone to school. If you can show them a way that they can value you, whether that be a dollar, power, influence, they want to be a part of what you have going on. If you can get them to open their eyes because of what you can present as excellence, and not only just saying something, but having something that they feel like they would want to be a part of. And I don't think that it'll really, somebody said, but would it really change their mindset? Not every white person's mindset, no, but I have experience. Like I'm speaking off of experience and off of what it has gotten for me and how I've seen it on the university level. Once you get on levels where you can compete, then you can kind of see how you can kind of see how it'll work. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have about it.
All right.
To say about that one.
Hold on, I'm gonna unmute some more people. Dea, then Tia, and I'm gonna go to Trent.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to the Now Later scene for making this bigger than Westlake. Thank you for bringing it into the community, and shout out to Jordan Sims, because like you are the face of this. It's not a lot of people who are putting themselves out there, you know. And I just want to say thank you on your part. I already told you thank you separately. But yeah, and I love the way like you're not using it as a clout based. You're not using it for followers. You're doing it for the people. And I just want to point out this fact. We are not in the civil rights movement. We are in the Black Lives Matter movement. And in this movement, we don't have a specific leader. We don't have an MLK. We don't have a Rosa Parks. We don't have a Malcolm X. And I believe without a leader, what are we doing? Because we are here together as people. But every Black person in America is not sitting here having conversations with their own kind. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people who are sitting here, don't know what to do. And I just want to say this on this part. It hurt me to see looting happening specifically in Atlanta, Georgia. It hurt me a lot. I agree in protesting. I don't agree in rioting. I don't agree in looting, because this is my argument. I will always say this argument no matter who I'm talking to. So many people, so many of our ancestors, blood is on the streets of Atlanta, Georgia. So many Black owners have worked their butt off to find a way to make sure that African Americans have a title specifically in Atlanta, Georgia. And it hurt my soul to see our own people steal from them. Like specifically CNN as well. like I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional while even talking about it. But as our mayor said, Ted Turner built CNN to tell our story. It is specifically a Black woman who is a owner of CNN. When someone walks in the room, people will know to be quiet. People will know to do their work. And that woman is a colored woman. And to see so many people not know knowledge, to see so many people make fun of it, it hurt my soul dearly. And specifically, it was Black people. Yes, I see that white people are also taking part in this looting atmosphere, but still, as having the same skin color and seeing this happen to our own people, I'm in disbelief.
Thank you for sharing. Tia.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hey everyone, my name is Tia, and I'm a criminal justice major at the University of West Georgia, and I'm getting ready to graduate in July. So my whole take on this is that I'm all for the peaceful protesting, like only if it's peaceful. I personally do not agree with the rioting and looting because I feel like the looting, I don't care about the stores. I don't care for Target. I don't care for Gucci or Louis when it comes down to a man's life. But at the end of the day, I don't see how stealing something from a store, stealing merchandise from a store compares to this man's life that was lost. I feel like I understand that people are angry, but I just don't feel like that's the right way to go about things. And I understand the hurt, I understand that, like the pain, the anger, like we're tired of this, we're sick of it, all of us are. But I just do not see the point of like hurting, like you can't want equality in a world. Of course we're not treated equal, we want that, but we can't. But you can't treat other people how you don't want to be treated. Yes, we treat people right, yes, we treat them right, but we can't go up to a police and like hit him in the face or yell at him. He didn't do it. Everybody has a job. There's bad people in every profession, and I'm not saying that what happened is right at all because I'm not for it. I'm all for the peaceful protest, but I'm saying there's bad people that work at McDonald's, there's bad people that work at, there's bad lawyers, there's bad doctors, everything. So what I'm saying is going up to a police officer's face in Atlanta, like he just has a family to feed, like, and it makes it even more sad for me because there's Black police officers and he has to get up every day to his job. And I know that everybody in this world knows that that's, so I just don't feel like that was like rioting and looting is, I'm not for the looting at all. I understand the rioting, y'all mad, y'all angry, but I feel like stealing stuff, that's like capitalizing off that man's death, and I don't like that. And that's just my personal opinion. I feel like if we're going to come together and change the world, we need to beat the politics up. We need to go vote. We need to make sure we're eligible to vote. And that's how we're going to win. So many Black people do not vote and can't even vote. And then we know that's like, you know, if you're a felon, you can't vote. So we need to find out like who else in that family can vote. We have to find a way to win. And I don't feel like looting and rioting is the right way. I do feel like peaceful protesting is, but other than that, I'm just not for it. That's all.
Thank you for sharing. I'm going to go India, Vincent, and then Ty, and then we're going to move on.
Where you at?
Y'all can see me?
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah. I see you, girl.
Okay, so here's my take on it. Like, I get how some people say, okay, we're going to riot, we're going to do this, or like, you know, how we march and stuff. But I feel as though if we're going to march and do everything else on the side, we still need to take things into account. Like, we need to take the white man's money. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we need to buy from Black-owned business. We need to support Black-owned entertainers, Black-owned, you know, athletes. I just think we need to build up our own people before we build up white people. You get what I'm saying? So that's a part of the movement too. Because we keep protesting and we keep, you know, looting and stuff. And I get what Jordan's saying, but I feel as though we should really take action and take initiative to be able to, you know, fix the system. And because it's very systemic. Like, I feel like we're doing stuff that's on the surface and we're not going deeper than what we should to try and figure out how we're supposed to fix this problem, even though it's so complex. Like, I feel like there has to be more Black lawyers and has to be more Black educators to teach people how to, you know, to teach people how to beat the system and come out on top. You know what I'm saying? Because it comes from education and caring about people, not just, you know, getting up every day and walking the streets and holding signs. That's very important. and stealing from Target and stuff. But it's just like we have to go deeper than what we're doing now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think that's very important. We have to do that instead of the same thing that we keep doing. Like something has to change. Like the quote says, doing the same things over and over and expecting change is insanity. And I feel like Black people are insane right now. We don't know what to do, and we have to try and figure out what to do to be better.
Yeah, I agree. I think to Jordan's point about, we're just so fed up. We're so fed up. That's low-key our fault. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say that only because if we would have taken it serious and been consistent when it was Trayvon Martin, when it was Jordan Davis, when it was Philando Castile, when it was Sandra Bland, when all these people, why did we have to wait for there to be a cherry on top to be consistent when it came down to social injustice and, the killing of our people? You know what I'm saying? Unjustifiably. Why did we have to imagine if we would have took it from that point and started planning, started boycotting, started actually trying to inconvenience the white man? You know what I'm saying? What if we started then with a plan, with a strategy? Would it be what we are, where we are today? Like, I don't feel like, we should have waited so long. But
I have
go ahead.
I have something to add to that point though. I kind of feel like it's gotten to this point because naturally we're kind of conditioned to believe that we're the underdog. You understand what I'm saying? So when we're constantly faced with this same recurring problem, we don't know what to do. So I don't think it's a matter of we didn't want to be consistent or we didn't want change, but we are just we naturally feel like, the system has conditioned us to feel like, we're lesser than. They show us time and time again that we're not equal. So I think for a lot of people, this was the cherry on top, because now that it's happened so many times and we finally understand that they're not going to change. Now it's starting to click for people. Okay, we let it pass because we think something was going to change. We didn't think it was going to continue this way, but they keep showing us. So I feel like now, I understand that we shouldn't have let it get to this point, but
not just us though. Not just us, but
not just us. You're right. Right. But just talking about, on behalf of the Black community.
Right. Ty, and then Vincent. Sorry, Vincent, I keep forgetting.
Yo, what's up? My name is Ty. So listening to everybody, I think everybody has some really good points. I definitely want to point out, I can't remember the name, but she was talking about it's a systematic approach to things. And you have to understand, I think we all have to understand, like the system that's already set up in place, it's been like that since, like someone said, the first slave was taken from the motherland. So this is years, hundreds of years of work and put in place. And Kennedy said earlier how once she spoke about white people being opportunists as a general. So once they feel like you have something of value that they can value as well, then they're interested.
Yep.
So it sucks that it's such a tangible thing as far as money goes, because as Black people as a general, I think that I can say that we were raised with principle and we know respect and have morals, and it's not just about monetary value, but everyone isn't on that same brain stream. Everybody doesn't think the same. So as far as pushing the culture forward, I think it has to be one, we all have to be on one accord, and there has to be much more of a systematic approach. Like someone said, having more lawyers and more politicians, people being eligible to vote. We have to be able to do all these things in order to beat the game, because of course, in order to beat the game, you have to play the game. So we just have to abide by the rules and then get to the point where we're able to control. How you doing today?
Thank you for sharing. I don't know if Vincent wanted to speak. Vincent, did you want to speak?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when you went, you said most of what I was going to say, so really? That's why I kind of you did. But yeah, I'll speak on this a little bit. I think the whole argument about we've tried many times, kind of what Jordan was saying, was that it was never really consistent. I think we got what we wanted temporarily and it never quite finished. Like 2015, those officers that, were responsible for Eric Garner got indicted, and then we kind of stopped. 2016 and 17, during the whole Colin Kaepernick issue, when he was kneeling and didn't get a job because of it. Actually, once he got that settlement from Nike, we kind of, not settlement from Nike, settlement from the NFL because he was suing, we kind of stopped. We've been dealing with this since 2015. It didn't have to take Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, in a span of 2 months for kind of us to get ticked off when it's been like this, 5 years prior, and then before 2015, 65 years prior. So, I kind of feel like we've tried many, many times again, but we've never really been consistent. And it could be a lifestyle. It doesn't have to be as extreme as it is now with the riots and the protests, but it can be kind of today with Blackout Tuesday. Just things to always constantly remind that it's something that we're thinking about, something that we want changed. So that's kind of my piece.
I like that. Okay, I think I want to move on. Camille, you got anything you want to say before we move on?
I just want to say that I appreciate everyone that was speaking out. Oh, Jay, do you want to say something?
Yeah.
What's up?
I wanted to address the bottom of the tweet. We didn't really get to that as much, as we did like about the rioting and the looting. When she talked about it's time to stop thinking with emotion and strategize and start the corporations. And I feel like that's something that we really need to do because like Jordan said, white people aren't gonna feel inclined or aren't actually going to make change until they're inconvenienced. And how we can inconvenience them is, stop buying, stuff for them. So it's like it's a bunch of Black-owned businesses that we can support. Like Black people sell like laundry detergent or toilet paper or just something that we can all come on an accord and agree to stop, like maybe citywide, community-wide buying from them, just like they did with the Montgomery Boys boycott to show them, like we're not going to continue to support you until you, do this for us and protect us as you said that you should. So that's all.
Yeah, I also feel like part of the reason why we've been so inconsistent is because we continue to buy into their society or, this society, period. I think when Trayvon Martin died, when all these people have died unjustifiably and we haven't gained justice from it, it was easy to protest for a week. It was easy to riot for a week. But you got to understand, parents going to work for the white man, kids going to school, learning, what they want us to learn. Then you got, and then we grow up, we got social media, we on our phones every day. We don't have time to really be as, we don't have time to be as to grieve really because, we post things for like a week or a couple days and then it's on to the next. And then, we got into this whole drip thing. And so, we're focused on clothes and shoes and, I'm all for it, y'all, but I'm gonna be real. I feel like a lot of that has caused competition amongst the Black community, competition, ego, all that kind of stuff. So I think right now it's really important for us to understand how much, we have bought into what they presented us with, and it's kind of start knocking it down from there. But we're gonna move on to the next one.
Hold on, real quick. One last point before we move on. With that being said, I feel like we need to sure like everything that we're doing is conducive to what we're trying to achieve. Like the looting was not like in my personal opinion, the looting was not conducive. Like people are stealing Gucci, and Gucci proves time and time again that they don't support Black people. They're racist, and so we try and justify stealing this because they don't support us. But that's more of a reason to, not support what they're doing. So with that being said, I feel like
y'all trying to steal like
right as a community, we need to not pick and choose when we're going to support, not when it's convenient for us. Because when we were trying to protest Gucci for that same reason, nobody cared.
Right.
Nobody cared. But now everyone is stealing it because they say they don't support the Black community. We need to stop picking and choosing when we're going to support, and like she said, be consistent. Awesome. We need to give our money to Black businesses. We need to build our community up. Go ahead, Jordan.
Also, if there's insurance to replace all this stuff, what did we really gain, y'all? Besides the loss of our energy to the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not necessarily against it. You take your anger out however you feel, necessary. But that's a real question. What do we gain from all of that if they have insurance and can replace it the next day? If, we're still, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff. Like you really got to ask what you're in it for and don't lose sight of the initial cause. But yeah, to the next one, because I think this is a good one. Hold on. I'm not living to please man. I'm here to please God at the end of the day. I am Christian. I am God-fearing. I have to answer to him. I'm going to ask myself, what would Jesus do? Not what would an angry Black woman do? I am angry, but I am also trying to be godly. This tweet was brought up because I know a lot of people canceling a lot of Black people or just influencers in general on the internet. I'm gonna start with this one. Personally, I feel like we put too much power in the hands of celebrities and influencers. At the end of the day, we made them famous. So yeah, we can cancel them, but I feel like we should tend to that later. So this is personally, I feel like we should tend to that later only because I feel like it's just another roadblock that kind of gets in the way of us, addressing the real issue at hand. If this is how she chooses to deal with it, then this is how she chooses to deal with it. It's not our place to tell her, oh, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. This lady is her own individual. She is her own self. So, and also, I don't feel like not protesting is the only way. I mean, protesting the only way that you can help. You know what I'm saying? This type of cause. You don't know what she's doing behind closed doors in terms of donating. Again, that's really not for us to determine anyway. My thing is, the devil want the nigga to hate his own kind. And I'm not justifying her actions here, but I do think going at celebrities is not it right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like it's a waste of time. I feel like we need to keep our eyes on the real issue and stop getting distracted. But I'm really open to hear what everybody else has to say. I'll start with Sierra.
Okay, so I'm not even going to talk about religion because I don't necessarily have one, and no, that does not mean I'm atheist. That means I'm agnostic. That means I don't believe nor disbelieve in creation, because at the end of the day, I was not here to experience it. So let me say that first. Second, I don't appreciate how she is using religion to basically say that I'm not going to fight in an ungodly way, which basically she's saying a violent way. But at the end of the day, if you look at the tweet right under that, it literally says, you talk about the ungodly stuff that you do all the time, B. Why is this where you draw the line? That's the question that I have for her, because at the end of the day, you're on Wild 'N Out talking about drinking and smoking and this, that, and the third. All of that is sin in your book. Literally, that is all sin, listed as sin. And I've read the Bible, so please, anybody that's watching this, please don't tell me that I'm not uneducated, because I know exactly what the Bible says, New and Old Testament. But she basically is saying, and then emphasizing the, I want to call it a pseudonym, really, not a stereotype, but that's exactly what it is. Angry Black women, as basically saying ghetto. That's basically what she's saying. Everyone in this chat knows that, and I don't appreciate that at all, because it's just like, what are you emphasizing what the white man wants to put on us anyway? What are you emphasizing that for? That's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. If you, and to go back to the chat, I'm going to see who said this. It says from iPhone, so I don't really know. But it said people are going to do the things that are beneficial for themselves. Now, if you know about the 7 deadly sins, greed is one of them. Greed is a selfish sin. And it's deadly, like I said. And as the person who said people are going to do things that are beneficial for themselves, that's basically what B. Simone is saying. And at the end of the day, if she was really Christian, she wouldn't be adhering to greed right now. She would not be adhering to greed. Everyone who protested wouldn't have been adhering to greed if they were really favoring God right now. I'm just being so thrilled, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what this is. It's just a platform for you to say, hey, it's not my problem. So I'm not going to resort to joining everybody else and fighting for it. So I'm just going to retract and I'm just going to be quiet. And that's not what this is about. You don't necessarily have to get out there and fight. Are any of us out there fighting right now? No, we're talking about it. You see what I'm saying? You could be talking about this problem. You don't have to turn into an angry Black woman, like you said, and be out here fighting in the street, being ghetto. You don't have to be out here doing all of that. You could be peacefully at home making change like what we're doing right now. Because a lot of people don't believe that conversation starts change, but it brings about ideas that nobody ever thought about before. I posted about thinking economically the first day of the riot, and no one agreed with me. No one agreed with me. Everybody called me stupid. Everybody said that we're tired of being peaceful. I didn't emphasize being peaceful. I emphasized speaking economically, which economics is the study of people and choices, not just money. So I was talking about, at the end of the day, you need to suffocate, like I said, suffocate the white man's pockets. Not only do you need to do that, think of other tactics other than just rioting and protesting so violently, because as you can see, history has shown that it has not worked to the point where the problem won't be reoccurring. It has not worked to the point where the problem has fully stopped, because if it did, George Floyd would be alive. Trayvon would be alive. Sandra Bland would be alive. All of these people that lost their lives at the hands of a white officer would be alive, period. And that's all I have to say about this, because I'm not going to get into the religion aspect. A lot of people in this chat probably have a religion, and this is not about religion. This is about exactly what she said. And I can't agree to it, because it just sounds like you're trying to back out and not fight for your people. That's what it sounds like to me. So that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you for sharing. Celeste. And then Vicky.
Okay, did it unmute me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not really gonna speak on this much, but I just don't feel like every time I get on Twitter, it's, oh, we're canceling this person, or oh, we're canceling that person. And a lot of people are really just canceling people because they don't necessarily agree with their opinion or how they're going about things. Like, there are different people, and some people are going the rioting and looting and going to talk their regardless, and that's okay. But some people are going for the more calm approach, and they just don't want to do all that. And I feel like with this tweet, I feel like she was getting so much backlash. Well, not backlash, but I feel like people were saying, "Oh, when is so and so gonna speak out?" Because people are like, "When is so and so gonna talk about it?" Or "When are we gonna get so and so's opinion?" Because they're influencers, so why aren't they using their platform yet? And just like Ken posted like a day or two ago, he just spoke out because he said that him and De'Ara needed to get their thoughts together and needed to think about what they were gonna say and how they were gonna say it to put it out in the best way possible. And I think that B. Simone was basically just trying to do that, but she didn't necessarily go about it in the best way. But if she's trying to be more of a godly woman, I understand that. But everybody sins. We know that everybody sins almost every day. Lying, cheating, stealing, all this. No sin is bigger than another.
Yeah.
So she just doesn't want to go about this particular situation in a certain type of way. And I don't necessarily think that we should use what she does on Wild 'N Out and what she does in her regular life and depict it on this particular situation.
Yeah.
And she said the fact that she was angry, and it's not like she was disagreeing with us, but she's just trying to figure out how to put her anger into words before she starts running off at the mouth or before she says something, because people are so ready to snap at influencers for like one word that they say. So I feel like that's what she was trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have used the religion thing to justify, like not right now, especially when you have a platform that kind of contradicts that kind of stuff. But Vicky, I'm gonna hear from you.
Oh, okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm Vicky Lamar. I think from B. Simone, I feel like she has every right to say that. Again, I don't really agree with the counseling people. Some people need to counsel, obviously. But like what she said right here, I think what she's trying to say is like, at the end of the day, whatever she's doing is for God. So her being on MTV, whatever, she could justifiably be saying she's doing that, God for her to be on MTV and make those jokes. She could say that. But so I think like that's just how she expressed herself. I feel like at the end of the day, we shouldn't be looking up to B. Simone and all these people like that. Like, and I feel like
Oh, Vicky, you paused. Hmm. Okay, well, I don't
I
want to.
just text her.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute somebody else. Chase.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up? I'm Chase Brathwaite, recent North Atlanta High School alumni. I helped found the first Black Student Union at my school, and I just feel like I just wanted to join this call because I thought this was really great. But basically, I just wanted to talk about how this tweet, and I just feel like, I don't know, I don't know everybody's names in here, but I just feel like I agree with what was said about how we give influencers such a platform, and we need to realize that at the end of the day, they're just social media influencers. They're not gods. They're human beings just like us at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And yes, B. Simone, I don't know how or what this sparked from exactly. I saw that she was getting canceled on Twitter or whatever. But I feel like this is another thing this is another toxic thing that we do in the Black community, where we just cancel other people in our community just because it's convenient or they said something. We don't always have to agree with each other. At the end of the day, I feel like we need to come together and, instead of being negative, do something cohesive that's promoting change, instead of like what's the relevance of canceling somebody right now in this climate? Like, I just feel like that's being focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So
I think people are adding themselves, and be honest with y'all. I don't really know what's going on. Chase. Okay, we're gonna move on. Maybe it's his connection.
Hello?
Hey, Mr. Nixon.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. If you have any power to get my video, that's cool. If not, I'm just gonna talk real fast. Those who don't know me, my name is Mark Nixon, and I'm just really excited to be on this call with you guys. You guys are saying everything that I'm thinking, and so I'm really proud of the work that you guys are doing. Historically speaking, there's only two groups of people that you can't mess with. Senior citizens and our elders, and number two is the youth. Typically speaking, the youth are the ones that are on the ground changing things, moving things, and creating things to happen. And so this has been one of the core issues for me for over 10, 15 years. And so everything that we've talked about, from dealing with police brutality to dealing with group economics, that's what I'm about. So my day job is working as an instructor, working as a college and career advisor, working as a small business consultant, and recently just putting together some of the finishing touches so that we can actually have the type of spaces that this type of club and organization works with. So that being said, let me say this really, really fast. For the organizers and the participants on this call, I'm ready to help and I'm ready to build. We can talk about how you do strategic group economics. We can talk about how you look at the legal side. I'll just throw this out there and then we can definitely connect. You guys know how to reach me. Something really simple. The district attorney is a person that can either give you, when you have yourself in front of a judge, a maximum penalty that's usually higher if you happen to be Black, or they can give you something a lot more lenient. And that's a locally elected position, and they have a lot of power. So that's just one small thing that we could be looking at. Number two is your police chiefs and your sheriffs. Your sheriffs have a lot of power. They have a lot of influence. Sheriffs are elected officials. And when I bring up the police chief is the one who can help to remove those bad officers and get training programs that allow officers to do and have better conduct. And number 3 or 4 is, of course, your mayor, because typically speaking, the police chief has to report to the mayor. And so the situation that we saw recently over the weekend, those 2 officers don't work there anymore because the police chief and the mayor talked very quickly and got that handled. And so that's just one example of some of the things we can do. I love everything that I'm hearing. We'll definitely have more of these talks. I'm here for it. And thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to let Jordan talk. And we're going to move on to the next tweet.
Okay, first thing I want to say is, as being a man of God, there's a scripture that says, be angry, but sin not. So God actually gives us the ability to be angry, or the thought to be angry, for one. 2, what the hell is an angry black woman? Honestly. What is because in my eyes, my vision, what an angry black woman is the woman that was on the news, and she was talking very strong with a very strong voice, talking about all the things that were going on in the world and all that good stuff. That's what an angry black woman is to me. So what is she talking about? Where does it say in any scriptures that you can't go out and stand for what the color of your skin or stand for what you believe in? It never says anything like that. So don't try to misuse scriptures or misuse Christianity as a way for you not to stand for what you believe in. Or if you don't believe it, just say that. If you don't believe in it, just say that. Because I promise you, my pastor, he talks to me every day about the same things, about how he gets so involved in just like, you know, how mad he is about things that are going on in the world right now, how mad I am and things going on right now. I promise you, I'm a man of God, and it's so hard to be a Christian right now, but I will not. God will have to come down here himself and tell me, Jordan, please stop advocating for your people. Please stop saying stuff for your people. You know what I'm saying? So please don't ever try to ever use Christianity as a reason for you not to stand up. Thank you.
Period. I feel you. I understand.
Can I say something real quick?
Wait.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I agree with Sierra mostly. I'm not going to claim that like I'm a super Christian. I'm not going to claim a religion. I'm not going to talk down anybody's religion, but I'm not going to sit here and say that that's okay to use religion to hide behind religion and hide behind this belief that saying something and being an activist and saying and going out, not even going out or saying whatever you want to say is continuing the stigma of being an angry black woman. What's wrong with being angry? Right. I'm angry.
Right.
Okay to be angry.
Yeah.
You should be able to use your voice and use your power. You behind being angry. And that's okay to be angry. So I don't understand why she's trying to use this stereotype and use this idea that has been placed upon us by an oppressor to discredit or talk down on how I feel, because how I feel is powerful. You should be able to feel however you feel. And for her, and I agree that canceling people isn't right, because I feel like we do as a culture, instead of talking, instead of communicating, we just shut people down. We don't want to listen to what you have to say. And I think that creates an area, like a community of where people aren't afraid to say whatever they have to say. And that's not how change happens.
Yep. Thank you for sharing. Thank y'all for sharing. All right, I think we're going to move past the tweets right now. Camille, can you unmute your mic?
Yes. Okay, before we move on, I just want to emphasize what Javon just said. With that being said, I feel like we need to make sure we're giving our energy to the right things. And at the forefront is the movement. So I feel like we're spending a lot of time on the internet, going out of our way to cancel celebrities and cancel influence when the influence aren't the problem. Yes, we may disagree with what they say, but at the end of the day, it's the system we're worried about, not these influence. You understand? So
I'm going to say this, because some people do consider the influence as a problem because they have so much influence and because they have a platform that not speaking up, or, you know, and it's kind of like falling into their trap. Like, because you're good and you got up and out, that you don't have to help or do your due diligence within the community. So
right, and I do understand that. However, I feel like once we realize that they're not going to voice, like they're not going to speak up for us, that's when we start spending too much time, when instead we need to be creating our own platform. Just like how we sat here and we planned this whole meeting up, this is an example of how you build your platform and you make your voice be heard, not let your voice depend on some celebrity or influencer.
100%. 100%.
So with that being said, we're going to move on for the tweets, and we're going to spend the last 20 minutes or so coming up with a means of reform. A lot of people in the chat have been talking about basically coming from an economic standpoint. I know that Sierra was saying something about that. So if we could probably start with Sierra, because I feel like she made a very valid point.
Sierra, you have the floor.
Okay, so I have a whole list right here, and I'm just gonna make it sweet and real speedy because I know we got 20 minutes. So, first of all, I'm gonna start with the goal. Everybody on this life, even the people
wait.
Go ahead.
Do anybody y'all want to take some notes? I feel like this is something that
notes, please, because I'm gonna post this on Instagram later. I got a whole live that's been hearing everything that we've been saying right here. I've been talking to them. They've been hearing everything, every single last one of y'all. So it's like whether they agree or they don't, at the end of the day, they've been listening. And I have a bunch of means for reform, not just economic. I have a bunch. It's just about being tactful. So, first of all, the goal of everybody on this earth, and this is not no religious, nothing, it's quite spiritual actually rather than religious, is to reach peace. That's the goal. Everybody wants to be tranquil. If nobody knows what tranquility means, please go look it up. Everybody wants to be tranquil. Everybody wants to live and coexist in harmony, okay? That's what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to be that way. How do you reach all of that when you got police killing all these people, whether it's white, black, whatever, all of this, right? But at the end of the day, doing unlawful things, abusing power, all of that. First of all, I wanted to say that the violence is problematic. And I'm talking to my live as well for everybody that believes that these riots, yes, they've brought attention to our problem, but do you not understand? I just want to put everything on y'all minds. All of this violence from around the world, okay, for all the people in Paris who don't know who Ahmaud Arbery are, for all the people in other countries who don't know what's really going on here, they're only seeing, oh, you know what, there's a bunch of black people and they're going out and they're setting shit on fire. That's all that they're seeing right now. Then the people that actually care, they're like, well, why are they setting shit on fire? Let's actually do the research. There's not many people that actually do the research. There's not many people that actually go into detail and actually think about what's happening right now. The violence, I bet a lot of y'all in this chat don't know that next week, those 3 men that killed Ahmaud Arbery are about to go on trial. But do you not know why you don't know that? Because the fact is everything that's being televised right now are the riots. He goes on trial next week, okay? All of them. And if they walk free, we were part of the problem because we were focusing on the wrong things. That's what I have to emphasize. We were focusing on the wrong stuff. We were doing the wrong things. It's not even about a matter of right and wrong. We were focusing on the defective situation. That's what I want to emphasize. It's not even a matter of right and wrong. It's about what's effective, what's really going to work. That's what this is about. So if you are being violent, you have to realize that takes attention away from the main basic narrative. Okay, the narrative is we want our freedom, we want our peace, we want to be treated as humans. So that takes away from the narrative when your protest becomes illegal after you started vandalizing CNN centers and after you started setting targets on fire, and then the National Guard comes out there to shoot y'all with 7.62s and snipe y'all. That is the difference. That's the problem. Okay, nobody's going. It's like arguing with your boyfriend. Okay, if your boyfriend comes to you and says, or if your girlfriend, whatever, if your significant other comes to you and tells you, hey, I really don't like that person that you're talking to. I feel like they're disrespecting our relationship. Then that leaves room for conversation. But if they come to you and they're like, hey, bruh, block him. Hey, bruh, do this. Are you really going to attach to that? Are you really going to attach to that? Why? Because it's violent. Why? Because it's rude. Why? Because it's not effective. You're not going to attach to that. You're going to be like, hey, bruh, calm down. Calm all that down. And that's exactly what the National Guard is doing. I'm not taking their side, period. I'm really not, because I don't. But at the end of the day, They are literally put in place. They are employed to protect the streets, and that's exactly what they're doing. Why? Because we sat up here and we destroyed them. That's what this is. And I'm not just talking about Black people. I know it was white people out there too. Mexicans, all of that. They was out there destroying everything. It's not even about race. Like I emphasized on my story, I don't see color. I don't see that. So it's about the human race as a whole. And at the end of the day, you're going to sit up here and dismantle your narrative. Don't expect for your narrative to be made. That's one point I wanted to make. Now, how to really stop all of this or hinder it or make it so that all of these problems, make it so that they're not really going to be carried out fully. I emphasize thinking economically. First of all, like I said, it's not just about money, because economics is a study of people and choices. So if we make the choice to sit up here and be like, hey, I'm not going to work for the white man because I don't like white folks, and that's just that. You could have been an attorney that could have put that white man in jail. You could have been the judge that said, hey, jury, have we reached a verdict? Is this white man guilty for killing this unarmed Black man? You could have done that. You could have gone to school to do that instead of taking the easy way out like we always want to do and doing other things. Because or being like, you know what, I'm just never going to be a police officer. I'm just never going to be 12. I'm just never going to do this. You could be a police officer out there actually doing what the people up in Flint, Michigan just did. Them officers that dropped their guns, okay, white and Black. They dropped their guns to march with the protesters up there. They dropped them guns. You could be doing that. You could be doing that as a police with somebody with a platform, somebody behind a badge, somebody that the people will listen to, obviously. You could be doing that. Target the money, the income, and the outcome of America. That is about money. All this, the blackout, everything that we've been doing, I support y'all. I support this 100%, because at the end of the day, if you could suffocate the cash flow of the company America like they suffocated George Floyd, they will not win. They will not win. They will not win, bro. Donald Trump will not win. He's going to end up just like Hitler. And I hate to put that on him. Let me cross my heart. I hate to put that on him, but he will end up just like Hitler in a bunker dead somewhere if we suffocate his cash flow, because that's all he's ever wanted. That's all he's ever wanted. All he wants is money. He doesn't care about his wife. He doesn't care about his kids. He doesn't care about anything else, but the fact of the matter is money. That's all he cares for. Think of America as a system, not a country of the land of the free. That's all I have to say. Think of America as a system. It is not a country. It is a system. Think of the world like that. It is a system. It is not a country. Think of it like that. Now, this goes out of the money aspect, and I'm almost done. Mm-hmm. Y'all need to suggest better training for cops. Better training.
Background checks.
Yeah, background checks. Background checks, not just that, better training. I saw a comment from a white woman. I don't care if she is white and she's teaching her kids to be pulled over and to actually speak for what they believe in, as opposed to what my mom tells me. She tells me to not say anything until she arrives on the scene. So that's that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care what her race is. Like I said, I don't see color. I don't see that. But if you're going to suggest better training for cops, I saw her suggest that every cop in America, that doesn't mean just state by state by state. That means America, North America, South America. That means everywhere, all over the world. She said cops should be required to receive a master's, not a bachelor's, not 4 years, a master's or up to a doctorate almost in social work. Because do you know how much social workers really value human life? Do you know how much they value human life? If every cop on this earth went to school for social working, went to school to value human life, to be able to balance, like I was just telling my live, to be able to balance both sides, they will be able to see, hey, bro, you know what? This man is unarmed. I don't even have to shoot him, bro. You know what? Just get in the back of this cop car. We'll figure it out. We'll go to the police station, and it is what it is. It's over. Then it's over. It's over. Revise, reform, and reform bills, laws, and rights. I wanted to say rights as well, because at the end of the day, like I said, this whole Second Amendment, the fact that I'm 18 and can't carry a firearm in this type of time, and I'm a female because there's sex trafficking still going on. The fact that I'm 18 and can't carry a firearm is pretty saddening. I get that 21 is a legal age. I get it. I'm not saying raise it down, like bring it down or anything like that, but it's just a little, I'm gonna let that be up to the people. Just, you need to revise and reform bills, laws, all of that. Like, it needs to be double checked. All of that needs to be double checked. The Constitution needs to be double checked, because for about 400, maybe I'm a little off, maybe 250, 300 years now, almost 400, we have been made to believe that slavery is not in this country anymore. And I'm not just talking about the fact that we are emotional and physical slaves to white people or to oppression. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that all these people, like my father, who's sitting in jail right now, when he enters those jail cells, he has no rights. The 13th Amendment specifically says that slavery will not be inflicted on this country unless inflicted as punishment. Unless, the key word is unless. The key word is unless. So at the end of the day, it starts with a system, bro. It starts with the system. Y'all are sitting out here setting shit on fire, not doing anything, drawing attention away from other shit that we need to be putting attention on. At the end of the day, a lot of these people in my life did not know that Ahmaud Arbery's trial was next fucking week. A lot of people don't know that. You see what I'm saying? They don't know that. Because they're so focused on the fact, oh, you know what? I'm finna go out and I'm finna put my fist in the air and I'm finna slit a cop wrist. I'm finna do that. Like, no, bro. It's just not about that. Last thing I'm gonna say is make your statements with your mind, not your mouth. Everybody needs to understand that you need to think before you say things. You need to think and assess both sides before you say anything. That's why lawyers are paid so much, because the hands of people's lives about to be put in jail it's in their hands. It's in their hands. It's in their hands. So they get paid so much. You wanna know why though? Because they're able to assess both sides. Judges as well. They hear from a prosecutor and they hear from a defense attorney. They hear from the plaintiff and they hear from the defendant. If you know nothing about law and you don't know what I'm saying, you need to exit this conversation, and I'm talking to my law right now. But at the end of the day, they assess two different sides. If you do not have the ability to assess multiple sides at once, there's no point for your conversation. You are invalid at that point. You are invalid at that point. You are completely invalid. That is why we have a leader who is invalid, because he is only able to assess his own mind. That's it. And one last thing that I wanted to say, and I want to put this on everybody's minds, and I'm going to give one example. We wouldn't care, because a lot of people are saying, well, at the end of the day, you know, if we hurt the economy, we'll be broke too. Nobody cares, and I'm speaking for myself right now, and a lot of others. Nobody would care about being broke if your leader cared about you. New Zealand's GDP, gross domestic product, is way lower than ours. And let me tell you what their prime minister did the same day when a white supremacist walked into a mosque, a Muslim place of worship, okay, not a church, a Muslim place of worship, and shot up Muslim kids and Muslim adults. She banned assault weapons the same day. She banned them. And then the very next day, she went to go pray with those people in that very same mosque. Their leader cares for them. And you think them people down there give a damn about being broke? You think they give a damn about being broke? They don't give a damn, because they live in harmony. They're down there with some beautiful beaches. They're down there with beautiful mountains, beautiful scenery, and they have all the time in the world to get naked on the beach and have fun. You think they care about being broke? Do you think they really care? We were broker than we were now when Obama was president, but we were more at peace when Obama was president, because he was a Democrat and he cared about everybody. He gave everyone health care. He gave everyone housing. Okay, he made sure everyone was attended for, even the people that don't do shit and sit on their ass. Nobody would care about that. I wanted to put those concepts on everybody's mind so y'all can take that and run with it and spread awareness with it. That's what I wanted to say. That's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome, girl.
I think you taught everybody something.
Real crap, bro. Real shit, bro.
We really do appreciate it. So obviously, I want to start by, before I let somebody else get on, I also want to say this is not a one-night thing. We on this call tonight, but this needs to continue. Conversations like this need to continue. I hope y'all took notes. I hope y'all plan on reaching out to, if you learn from Sierra, how we can go into action behind, you know, for one, requiring more of these police officers that are being put in the office, behind more of these bills that need to be reformed, behind how we can learn more about the Constitution as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Spreading this type of information, spreading this type of awareness. This has to be more than a one-night thing. But this is a great start, a wonderful start, actually. So thank you so much, Sierra. Anybody else?
Hey, let me say something.
The chats are really funny. What's up? Who's that?
That's me.
Hey, how are you?
Sure. Hey, so look, this is the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm not trying to speak too long. Since she like, okay, we talking gangster now. Like I heard everybody else speak, and you get me. Everybody sound peaceful for you know what I'm saying. Everybody go. I'm gonna be an outlier. Only thing I'm gonna say is the only thing that stop people from touching you is either if they respect you or is that against their morals and values. It's that simple. Like I would never hit my mama because I respect her. You get what I'm saying? If my little brother be mad, I'm gonna slap him in the back of the head because I don't care. These people do not care about us. Like how you can't force what you talking about. School not gonna go against. School not gonna teach me morals. School's not gonna teach me values. They don't care. Like these people do not care. And me personally, everybody talk about, oh, get it in blood when it comes to gang banging and all this. But when it comes to the police, we want to go steal. I swear to God, my uncle got killed from the police. So if I see a police touching one of mine, he gonna eat this 40. That's it. That's all it is. Y'all playing around, and they gotta let me off. They got to. If I get convicted for killing the cop who hurt one of mine, look how people that voice. OJ got off, man. You gonna get off. We gotta make a statement. They not scared of us. They not scared of us. These people not scared of us. They gonna do what they do to you and then kill you. When everybody talk about Martin Luther King. Oh,
breaking up, Michael.
Okay, well, we will have him come back and speak. But next caller.
Anybody else want to speak? Oh, Vincent. I know Vincent wanted to say something. Oh, hold on real quick. Raquel, I got you.
All right. I wanted to say, so far as like us getting out of the white man's pockets, a big problem is that we kind of don't know where these black businesses exist, although they do exist as well. So I was thinking something that we can do, like as general people, is just get like a registry for all these black businesses that are around here that sell clothes, food, supply us with the things that we need. Because there's a whole bunch of them in Midtown, and a lot of them got torn up. But if we start supporting them from here on out, just because we know where they are and that they exist, I think that'll be one way. And then the next thing is cops kind of get off because they're judged by their peers, if that makes any sense. Usually review boards for when cops do bad are other cops, former cops, or people who work in the Department of Justice, not regular citizens. So I was thinking it could be like a board of like 9 people, just regular citizens, youth, old, and then people in the middle, to kind of just judge what these cops are doing, and at least have like one board per district, so they can, anytime there's a complaint filed, at least regular people can be deciding what goes on with these cops, because we're the ones that these cops, have to protect, if that makes any sense. So that's all I was going to say so far as like reform.
That's a great point. I didn't get a chance to write that down, but I hope you remember, so we can come back to that. Let's see who else. Trent. I'm not sure. Raquel, my bad, girl. Go ahead.
That's okay. I just wanted to say something really quickly, like based off what he said. Like, okay, it's this show. It's called Trigger Warning. It's by Killer Micah's on Netflix. First episode, he's like going against, like he's trying to not use any white products at all. And I just want y'all to watch that just to get a perspective of like what that looks like. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is somebody in the chat said the biggest fear is an educated black man. And that's my thing. Like, it all starts with the mindset. Like you have to get an education, like like, okay, let me start here. When slavery was abolished, the prison system was made like that. And why? To keep us enslaved, to keep us in a cycle, to keep us in a pattern. We're all like, it's hard for black men and black women to feel like they're worth something, or they're educated, or like they can get an education, they can go to college. It's important for us to instill that in everyone, and for everyone to understand that, you don't have to sell drugs. No, you're not going to go to jail. You can get an education, you can go to college, you can have this business. And I feel like that starts with the mindset. If you teach your kids something not even based off what your parents taught you, the cycle will break. And I feel like that's something very important to understand, to realize.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I want to say, and I feel like change can definitely come from that. So yeah.
Thank you. I agree. Mr. Woodhouse.
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, Kurt, what's going on, man? How we doing? How we doing? You guys are doing a great job. I just wanted to jump in real quick. What you guys are saying is very important. Good information. Just wanted to clarify a couple things. I think the gentleman said, or the young lady said, you have to be 21 to be able to own a handgun. That is correct. However, for females, there are different laws, different from males. So as a female, at 18 years old, you can own a rifle at your home. A male can as well. If you are at home or your mom is at home and you have a weapon in the house and you use the weapon in the house, you are okay. There's certain laws that I think you guys should learn or get to know. That's going to benefit you guys. I heard the gentleman say that if somebody takes a family member of his, he's going to go off and shoot them. I'm not always with all violence. My thing is this: if you know your rights, you'll be able to not outsmart, but you'll know what you can and can't do. A lot of times, I think police brutality comes because the person don't know they don't have to get out the car. A person don't know they don't have to have the person search or the police search their vehicles. So their argument is being rude, disrespectful, or yelling or cussing at the cops. I can gladly tell a person, hey, no, you can't search my vehicle. I got a right. You have a warrant. You know what I mean? You got probable cause. If you know those kind of things, but if you don't, you're gonna start coming. Why the F y'all touching my car? Y'all was stopping the black man. You're making the situation a lot more hostile. However, you just got to improve your vocabulary and learn more. The more you know, the better off in life you're gonna be. You know what I mean? Of course, like some say, a lot of cops don't like us. You know what I mean? But there are some cops that do. And what I want you guys to realize is that we all are human. You know what I mean?
You breaking up, Mr. Woodhouse. Breaking up. Can't hear you.
Standing on their front line, they're paid to be police officers, like we're paid to be and all that. However, can you hear me now?
Yep. Thank you. There you
Okay.
go.
Okay. I'm sorry. Like I said, some officers that really care about the kids. For example, those that went to Ashford Westlake, Officer Chisholm. Officer Chisholm was a New York police officer. He had to arrest a lot of different people. However, he also care about the kids. You know what I mean? His own son is arrested during time. If you was able to actually sit down and talk to him, he would tell you about it. So all officers aren't bad. You got to realize that these people are human. They have families to go home to. So I think a lot of the rioting, the protests, I'm definitely with. But the rioting, throwing blades, shooting cops and all that stuff, all cops aren't bad, but because I wear this uniform that makes me a bad person, that's like saying all teachers don't care. Some teachers are there for the check. Some teachers really genuinely care about those students or young people. You know what I mean? So you can't classify everybody in one bubble. However, how do we make change? We get out and vote. We get out here and we actually go and apply for the jobs that we want to see change in. If you don't like what's going on in your area, you apply to be the mayor or the senate, or you apply for city council. You don't like what's going on with the police department, then you go and you learn the law and become the lawyer that help to get the people off. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be the prosecutor. You can be the defense attorney. If you know people that's been falsely accused of offenses, then guess what? You're going to be that lawyer to get everyone off. Johnny Cochran was that person. Johnny Cochran, if you did something wrong, especially if you was black, they made sure they work hard for you. So I just want you guys, stay encouraged. I just want to add those little 2 cents. Learn the laws. Women do have a lot more rights. Like, you guys don't have to go and apply for a concealed weapons license if you're going to keep your gun in your purse, because your purse, your glove compartment, your job, and your home is all qualified where you can carry your handgun. You can't walk the streets. You can't walk the streets and have your gun flash, like that. But if you are a female, you can walk around with a gun in your purse legally, and they can't do nothing about it. But that's not a law that they will tell you. Just like one thing I don't think a lot of people know in Georgia, we fuss about Florida being a stand your ground law where you don't have.
Mr. Woodhouse. Can't hear you again. Okay. Did you hear that, Sierra? About the gun thing?
Georgia is saying you learn law, but they don't promote it. But if you actually do your can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, they keep going in and out.
Hey, go ahead. Go to someone else. I'm driving, so that might be why. You can go to somebody else.
Gotcha. But we do appreciate it. And there'll be another more opportunities to share what you're about to share with us. Who went? Oh, Summer. Summer, if you can unmute yourself if you're still on here. And ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. First, I want to say is that I really appreciate this call, and I really appreciate everybody speaking and their opinions and stuff, because it really helped me really solidify a lot of my opinions. But I wanted to go back to the Indiana tweet about how, like, if a person, sees a police officer using excessive force and they can defend themselves. We never really got back to that, but I just wanted to say that personally, I feel like that should be a national thing, because until we can get to the goal that we're trying to get to through everything we're trying to do, that should be a thing, because one of the problems about the whole George Floyd thing was that nobody helped him, and that could be for many reasons. The fact that they're like, oh, like, if I help him, they can shoot me. How I'm gonna help him if I get shot? Oh, this, that, and third, all types of stuff. So I just, wanted to, personally, I would feel like, so is there what am I trying to say? To make that something, because that can be something that can be started from state to state to state. Maybe start here in Georgia where we're at. Does anyone know how, like, steps to get that noticed by officials? I'm sure a petition might help to an extent, but it would still need to be passed, and I've been trying to do research on that and stuff. But does anyone know of anything? Any ideas?
Reaching out to politicians that you may have like believe in, or people that you want to see in office. I know that's a great way to help out. But on the topic, one thing I believe in is just thinking off the top of my head are 4 P's: and protest, provide, promote, and protect. Protesting, as teenagers, as young people right now, that's probably the best thing we can do. Providing could be providing help, taking people to the polls, you know what I'm saying? Or providing, resources to protest and stuff like that. Promoting could be promoting or endorsing not Republicans, I'm sorry, politicians that that we need to be in place for our voice to be heard. Because for us, when we're young, they're gonna hear our voice, period, with the protests and stuff like that. But voting is very, very, very critical to just getting our voice heard. And then, I mean, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, so along with voting, and this is something me and my team wanted to kind of get at, we want to do a panel, because I feel like growing up, I was pro-Democrat because my parents were Democrat. And I'm not saying Democrat is bad, but what I'm saying is a lot of times we follow in the footsteps of our parents. And that's how, in some cases, those could be in the footsteps of the people around you or your community. At the end of the day, we need to know what each candidate is about, who we are really voting for. And if you don't find a candidate that has an agenda that suits the Black community or what you feel is conducive to what we need in America, then you create and you request an agenda, and you go to whoever you feel is best qualified. And you say, hey, we need XYZ. Can you give that to us? So I think a lot of it is, yes, voting, but do your research. A lot of us do not want to go out and do the research behind what we need done. You know what I'm saying? So yes, vote, but also please do your research. This is not a Democrat versus Republican, a black versus white. This is who can give us what we need at this time to move, to progress, to evolve as a people, as a society. So, anybody else want to speak? Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Summer. Summer, did you get your question answered?
I did. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Anybody else like dying to speak right now? I see hands, but I'm not sure if it's from previous questions or whatnot. Just unmute yourself real quick if you have something to say.
Hello. Oh, damn! I saw it.
Go ahead. Who's that? That's on the camera. I can't see. Oh, is that Trent?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Trent.
All right. So.
You muted yourself, Trent. After this,
Can you
we're
hear me?
wrapping it up. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, can I address something from the previously too? Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, what I was thinking was I don't have a problem necessarily with the riots, although I do have a problem with the looting. However, like we tried peaceful protests before. We tried doing a lot of other things before, but our voice wasn't really being heard. And to me, I feel like when riots started, it kind of forced people to hear us.
Mm-hmm.
Although when looting started, it was more like we started taking from our own people. Like we started, like.
Hello? I think you muted yourself again. Five, four, three, two. Okay, we're gonna move on. If you have something to say, because it keeps pausing and doing the weird stuff, you can type it in the chat or text it to me.
Let me know when you're doing some organizing.
But we're gonna start wrapping it up. I think this is a very constructive and productive conversation to start with. I want to thank everyone for coming on. This is all of our fight. This is all of our responsibility, not our fault. But I think it was really good to have this conversation. Thank you to all of those who spoke up for what you believe, voice your opinions. I hope you guys can leave with some more information and a different perspective. Moving forward, I do think we should continue these conversations. Y'all know Now and Laters has these meetings every Tuesday virtually right now because of everything that's going on. But if you have anything you want to add, anything you want to act on, I think you should hit up me, hit up Sierra, Camille, Jada, the main ones you kind of heard talking throughout this video, because we do want to continue our step or our path and journey towards change. Resources, we do have a list of resources that we want to communicate with you guys. So I'm gonna put those links really quickly in the chat. Also, if you're on my team and you have the link, if you could put them in the chat as well. These are different resources that you can use to donate, to sign petitions, to figure out your role in the midst of everything that's going on. So give me 1 second. 1 second. If you have any closing remarks you'd like to leave with, let us know. Feel free.
Go ahead.
All right. Real quick. My name is Jair. Anyways, I want to talk about when you're voting, you cannot be out here protesting and you're not voting, or you can't be out here trying to riot and stuff and you're not doing your job on the back end. So be sure you're doing your research and that you're actually acting. You're going out there with a plan, because you cannot talk the talk and not walk the walk. You know what I'm saying? Vision without action is merely a dream, and action without vision is a nightmare. So thank you all. Good night.
Period. 2020
vision. I just wanted to say, a friend and I started a group called Teens Looking for Change. my boy Jair's in it, but we will be having a event. We're not exactly sure what we're gonna do because it's a lot of things that go into having the protests and stuff like that. Plus, there's already stuff going on. But we definitely will have an event Friday. So you guys can follow us on Instagram. It's Teens LFC. Or if you could just be on the lookout for that and come support, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm on.
Yes.
I'm gonna say something real quick. I just wanted to say, being a part of this discussion, it made me like real proud, and I love everybody's energy towards this because it's definitely needed. However, I need everybody to understand that at this point, it's war. Like it's like that. Like not like a overseas Iran shooting guns, all that, whatever. But it's war, and it's definitely like it's not going away. So it's like, you know, we got to be in this for the long run, like for years on. We got to be willing to be in this for years on end type shit. Like it's not finna happen. Like you're not finna see no change anytime soon. Not saying it can't happen, but I mean, being realistic, you know, this is something that we probably gonna have to be at, you know, part of for a good minute. So
in other words, remain consistent.
Yeah, consistent, definitely. You got to be consistent on God.
This has
Not
to
just, you know, a couple months, not just to the end of the year, but like 5 years on end type shit, 10 years. Like we got to still be, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily on the same thing because we hopefully things will get better, but you know, we can't let it, you know, can't let this go away, slip away.
Right. So let's hold each other accountable in this type of energy,
Right.
you know, initiate. Let's keep this going. Anybody else wanted something to say?
I was just about to say that I think it's important to also find your role in this. I think it's important to not feel like ashamed that you're not protesting or like giving it like the same type of energy some people are, but I think it's important to find your role in this whole thing. So make sure you feel fulfilled with what you're doing and don't feel pressured to feel some type of way, because all of your feelings are valid, and how you want to react and how you want to help is important.
Most definitely, but I want to put the responsibility of all of y'all to educate yourselves, to know about what's going on, to stay up to date about everything that's going on, and not be slacking or slipping on what your laws are. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they get us the most. Failure to know the law does not mean that you cannot be, you know, receive consequences for not abiding by the law. So y'all need to know what's going on, not just the laws, but the bills that are trying to be passed, what's going on with these court dates and trials. Sierra, I'm gonna hit you up on that because I didn't even know about that. But all that kind of stuff, educate yourself. That is all of our responsibility, whether you go to college or not. Educate yourselves, be educated, read books, read articles, watch documentaries, and don't be closed-minded, be open-minded. You know what I'm saying? Accept new information all the time. Normalize changing your opinions. You can come in with one perspective and then leave with another, and it's okay. We have egos and we do not want to be wrong, but I'm gonna tell y'all, that's gonna be your downfall if you continue to not want to be wrong and not, you know, listen to what other people have to say. We are not against each other. We want the same thing, period. So anybody else want something to say before?
And not only educating ourselves, but
others.
10, 20, 30 years from now, it's going to have, like, the same things are probably going to happen. So it's going to be our job not to only educate ourselves, but to educate the younger generation so they can, you know, have the proper knowledge and the proper resources to, you know, deal with stuff the way we are.
Yes, but the goal is for it not to happen 30, 50 years.
Yeah, we're not trying to have this happen no more.
Yeah, we're not trying to have this happen 30, 50 years. That's why we're doing this now. That's why we're going to be consistent now.
Like everybody up to this point, you know what I'm saying? It's obvious. It obviously hasn't worked because we still here dealing with the same stuff. So let's be, you know what I'm saying, the generation to end this. You know what I'm saying? Like to fight for good type thing.
For sure.
Oh yeah, another thing, like if you come across somebody who is misinformed or misled, don't argue. Try to, you know what I'm saying? Because just try to communicate.
Yes.
You know how you think. Tell them like what it is, what it ain't. Like, you don't have to argue with nobody. Just have a simple conversation, and it can go a long way. You can probably change somebody. You're more likely to change somebody's perspective by, just talking to them than arguing and going back and forth.
Yeah, very true. You come from a aggressive manner. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. They automatically go into defense mode, and they're, you know what I'm saying? They not gonna want to hear what you have to say. You have to come at them and comfort them and just understand what they're talking about, but present your side and your facts and the information. Anybody else before we close out?
Hello.
Hey, Trent.
All right. I want to try to.
Trent. What you gonna talk about, this looting stuff?
No. I was gonna talk about the future plan.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think more for the future. Like, I know when I was younger, I had more of the aspect that, I should play sports, I should do this, I should do that, growing up as a young Black male. But I think more like we should try to educate other people that there's other things that you can do. Like, we need more lawyers, we need more doctors, we need people that's going to be able to change the things that we want to change, because the president doesn't change everything. And a lot of people vote for the president to think that he can change this, that, and the third. But, there's other things we can vote for. There's other things we can do. But I think more on a generational aspect is like we need to start investing more in ourselves. Like, a lot of Asian people, they put money in a bucket. But when they have enough money, one goes out and buys like a nail salon, a hair shop that they know a lot of other people are going to go to. I think that's something that we should do in our own community. Just to help bring everybody together, because it shows that, like, when we're together, it's so much that we can accomplish. But I feel like we have a lot of problems internally, that even traces way back into slavery, back when they had house slaves and stuff like that, and used to make internal conflicts with each other. So I feel like when we get to the goal that we want to get to, we need to be internally peaceful with one another so we can help each other out. That's all I wanted to say.
That's very true. We cannot hate each other. We can't be divided. Anisia, I see you want to speak, but we are running out of time. So if you have something to say, just let me know and we can post it on our page or whatnot. But I want to thank y'all for joining this call. I feel like this was very effective. I love each and every one of you, and I'm so proud of y'all, so proud of us for taking on this initiative to bring change about in our communities. Again, like Jalen said, it is not going to change immediately, but hopefully with this consistency and whatnot, we'll get somewhere. I would like a prayer to close us out. So anybody want to do the prayer?
I can pray.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, everybody, please bow your heads for a word of prayer. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for allowing us to have this platform and the opportunity to just talk about the things that are going on in the world. Lord, we just ask for a blessing right now, Lord. It's tough times right now, Lord. We're just trying to keep faith and believe in you, Lord. We ask that you just keep us rooted in your word and keep us safe, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, Jordan. Amen.
Amen.
See y'all. Be safe out here. If you're protesting, be cautious, stay alert, and educate yourselves. Love y'all. Bye.
Yeah, everybody be safe.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Daya. Sorry.
Hey.
Hey, Daya.
Hey, y'all.